Hi, Amy here, and welcome to the 7th episode of Stitch It Pink. Stitch It Pink is a YouTube channel and Instagram account primarily about cross stitch and sewing and a little bit of quilting and all the fun, artistic, creative things that I've been up to. So thank you so much for coming back to watch again. I hope that everyone had a wonderful Easter. Our family had a really nice weekend. It was a little quiet, but it was good. We had 2 of the 5 kids home. 2 are ending their semester up at school in Boston, and 1 is the opposite direction, ending her semester down in Daytona. So it will be nice when everybody gets to come home for a little bit. We miss them all very much, so we just had a really nice fun Easter together. We had like Easter dinner, lunch, supper, some Easter baskets, and just some good weather, good family time. So it was great. I've had a good week, as always. It goes by fast. I think each week continues to go by faster. It seemed like January took, a year, and then since February has hit, it's just been full speed ahead. So I don't have any new FFOs today, but I have previous FFO that I'd like to share. I have a couple finishes. I have some whips. I have a couple things that I kitted up. And then I thought I would show you my previous lemon cross stitches, because I'm thinking about finishing those next. So I was thinking about doing my dining room hutch in a lemon, or I don't know, maybe a strawberry lemon display. So let's get started. So I still need to film my Flosstube extra about all the bees, but I didn't get a chance to do that over the weekend with it being Easter and family and lacrosse and all. It was just the time flew by. So I'm hoping that I will get to do that tomorrow. But as I was starting to prepare for it, I thought I would show you the one. I've stitched a ton of bee stuff, but only one thing has been finished. So this is something that I stitched and my mom finished for me. So it's so cute. Here we go. It is Stitching with Housewives. I believe this was called Honeybee Bakery, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I should have looked it up, and I will look it up. But I will tell you, this was, I think, my 3rd cross stitch project. I don't know what I was thinking, and I stitched it a lot in the car. I'm surprised I continued to stitch after doing that. So it's a beautiful chart. I did make some changes because I believe this was originally stitched on black, and I stitched mine on a pink 14 count Ada. There are a couple changes I made. The biggest change is to the cake stand, and I did my cake stand in jadeite. And then the bowls were supposed to say Queen Bee, but when I stitched this, I had a rising 10th grader and a rising 12th grader, and Queen Bees were not really, we were dealing with a different kind of Queen Bee at that point. So I changed it to Honeybee, and I spelled it the way that Winnie the Pooh does, just for a little sentimental bit. So this is after the jadeite Pioneer Woman cake stands, and I mentioned that last week that both my girls and I both have jadeite cake stands, so that's what I tend to stitch all of my cake stands in. And the perfect floss is Orifloss, and it is color 2835. It comes in a spool. You get 18 yards, and it is cotton floss. It's great. And then my mom, so I stitched it, and then my mom asked me, you know, would you like me to finish it for you? And I said, oh yeah, absolutely, I would love that. So she used chalkboard, bakery fabric, some Lori Holt. This is actually like bias tape, some rickrack, red rickrack. She crocheted the flower and made a cover button. There's a little rolling pin, and it's just lovely. I really love it. So it's very cute. I put it next to my cake stand in my kitchen, and it's very happy, and I love it. Makes me think of her, so it's great. And I'm glad I didn't quit after this, because I thought this one was never going to end. So that is my FFO for the week, and I did get some really good finishes. So my first finish was this dapper little chickie, Easter Peep. So I know Easter Peep is making the rounds. Okay, so a lot of people have asked me about this chart and asked me if I would either lend it out or sell it. I'm gonna hang on to this one for a little while. This chart, it was my mom's, and it's out of print now. I have a feeling that I probably will stitch this again. I could see myself stitching this for one of my daughters, or I could see one of my daughters actually stitching it. So we're gonna hang on to this one for a bit, but so I just wanted to let you know, because a couple people have asked. Are my colors still, or did I put them on? Oh, no, I have my colors here. So these were mostly color and cotton, and then I used two Classic Colorworks. Put them up here, and here's my little Easter Peep. He is so cute. Oh my goodness, he's cute. His hat is cappuccino. Cappuccino is a really fun variegated color. I just love him. I think he's so sweet. And oh, one of the colors that isn't in here is the yellow accent color for his arms. That is Honeybee by Classic Colorworks. So I kind of dragged my feet on him at first, and I don't know why. And then I got his little face done, and his beak, and his little tie, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. So I just worked on him a little bit every day, and then when the house was quiet on Easter night, I finished him. So he is very, very sweet. I really do love him. So that was a fun surprise that I had the chart, and I really enjoyed it. He's on 14 count light blue fabric flare. Okay, so the next finish is another width eye needle and thread, Strawberries and Stripes. Okay, so the way this is FFO'd is really cool. I read the instructions, and it's done with a wire, red paint, crepe paper, and a Jiffy pot, like planter's pot. It's a really neat idea. So I was thinking about maybe finishing it in milk glass, but I don't know. I might see if I can give this a little bit of a shot. Now, this was stitched on 32. I should have stitched it on 18 Aida, but I stitched it on 14 because I was tired, so I might need to adjust the pot size. So we'll see. I did not use the called for colors. I started with the called for, or they're more of inspired. But this is very sweet. Really, really sweet. The strawberries are Ladybug, which I believe was the called for. Yes. And then I just brightened up the blues a little bit. The flag is wavy navy. I used, I think, pea pod and spinach, Classic Colorworks. These are all in Classic Colorworks for the stitch. So this is really sweet. I'm glad that I did this one. It was very quick. It was pretty small. It was 47 by 48. And this was stitched on 14 count white polka dot on coconut fabric flare. So then I caught up on WipGo. I'm so bad with WipGo. So I'm a WipGo dropout. I never last past January. So this year I'm doing like Start Go or New Go. And so twice a month when my number is called, I am starting a new Stitching with the Housewives small Christmas chart. Either one of their like Dapper Doodads, Tier Tray Tidbits, Roundabouts, the strippers, something like that. The goal is to have 25 finished Stitching with the Housewives ornaments by the end of the year, and I will have a whole cross stitch tree. So great January, great February, March kind of. I haven't started April yet, but I've got a week, so you know, it could happen. But I did finish my second for March, and he is adorable. So I did Little Santa in pajamas. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, he's so cute. I love his face. I love his cheeks. I used all the called for colors, except for I highlighted Ho, ho, ho in Seashelly. And I did that for a specific reason, and I'll show you why in a second. It was stitched on 14 count fabric flare. I think this is like a snowball, and this is the darker. There's two blues. There's a lighter blue, and then this is the brighter blue. I really like the way that ribbon red looks with this blue. So I thought that I would go ahead and show you my other, WipGo projects for the year. But for April, I'm supposed to do Home for the Holidays and Mrs. Claus Bakery. So we'll see what happens. But so far this year, here's what I've accomplished. I did the, I think this was called Sugar and Spice Baking Co. And I also did the pink Seashelly. And then I believe this was Down the Chimney. And it's the most wonderful time of the year. This one is done on 14 count opalescent. And the colors were changed just a little bit because of the white fabric. This is Gingerbread Farm. Now, I believe this said Gingerbread Farm at the top, and I left that off. And then Joy. This was a bonus chart for one of the strippers, but I'm not quite sure which one. But this one is really cute. I love the little reindeer. So those were my 6 ornaments so far. So maybe we'll get the number 7 and 8 done this month, but if not, it'll be okay. They'll get done eventually. Oh, goodness. Sorry about that. Okay, the next finish is from Plum Street Samplers. It is Tomato Hill. I loved this one. I really, really loved stitching it. Oh, it was so much fun. Now, this one has some over 1 on it, and that's tricky when you're an Ada stitcher, but yeah, I kind of fudged it, and it was okay. And I don't think you can really tell that it's missing. That's the best way to put it. So here is my Tomato Hill. I have to get this crease out. I really love this one. I stitched all day yesterday. All of my stitching time went primarily to this, and it was so much fun. I have to tell you, those little tomatoes, the green on the tomato, the leaves, the stems, I had so much fun stitching them. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. The cat is supposed to have some over 1. I just didn't do it. I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's good. I changed colors around a little bit. It was definitely more of inspired color palette. I used Ribbon Red, Holly Berry, Bandana, and Golden Star, and Clockwork for the tomatoes. Golden Star is the yellow. It is such a cool color. Look how pretty these are. I can't get my floss to stay. It's not at the right angle. I gotta work on that. So I think I'm gonna keep these colors together on this ring, just as a summer tomato palette. So this is just beautiful. I'm gonna finish this into a pin keep. I think it will look really pretty in a dough bowl, and I'm just very, very happy with it. So this is the way the chart looks, and that's mine right there. It was stitched on 14 count lamb's wool, and I just love it to pieces. So that was a fun one. Okay, so those are all my finishes for the week. I was pretty happy about that, especially with how busy it was to get a few things finished. So hopefully I'll get some more FFOs this upcoming week. Okay, whips. I have five projects I worked on. So the first one is what I primarily worked on the whole week. I probably put the most hours into this. I will admit there were a couple days where the house got quiet and I started to stitch late at night, and then I looked at the clock and I was like, oh, not good, but it was worth it. So my first whip is Daily Reminder by With a Needle and Thread, and this was a start for Sully Stitches Tara's 50th birthday. And if you've been following along, I dyed fabric, got all the called for, laid it all out, and I didn't like it. I was like, ugh, what to do? So then I looked over at my floss, which is all over here, and I have acrylic drawers that hold the floss, and probably the brightest drawer is my Color and Cotton. So I went to the Color and Cotton drawer, and I started pulling flosses. And let's see if I can do this without it falling. This, here we go. This was my palette. And I started trying out different colors, and then I frogged a lot, working on placements and all. So for quite a bit of time, I nicknamed this Frog Manor. And now I'm very happy with all the colors and all the placements, and it's just beautiful. I'm working on a cross-stitch Stampler wall for my bedroom, and my bedroom's very bright. I have Lily Pulitzer bedding, so I wanted this here to complement my bedroom, and I just love it. I love it so much. I know it looks very different than everyone else's, but it's really me, and I'm so pleased. So the border is Cottage Garden Threads, Ruby, which is a really cool variegated pink. The Smyrnas for the alphabet are my favorite thing to stitch, and I actually have to like hold myself back because I would have stitched the alphabet completely day one. Those are Delft Blue from Color and Cotton. And then the house is an older version of Fiesta. I still need to do the curtains. Here's the little garden, the really tealy fence. I think this pink flower in the other basket is taffy. So it's just all coming together. It looks so pretty. I need to finish the border, finish the alphabet, finish the numbers. I have one more flower to do and the tree. And then I've decided, instead of writing be good and do good, I'm going to put be kind, because that's something that my grandmother and my mom would say. And then again, I would, it's sort of passed down the line. So I would say that to my girls as well. So I love it. Love the bunny rabbit and strawberries and everything. It's just, it's good. And I think that this daily reminder has officially ushered me into my sampler era. I still love smalls, but this has been very, very nice to stitch, and I just love it to pieces. So that is a daily reminder. Okay, my next project I had talked about, I kitted it, and I showed it last week, and this is a start along from Holly, Mrs. Jones Stitches, and Nicole Spore. It's supposed to start in May. And so I got all my supplies ready, and I was going to start it in May. We had a pretty busy May, and you know, birthday, Mother's Day, we're going on vacation, and so I was like, well, let me just make sure, you know, I was thinking about a daily reminder and how I was trying to get colors right and all. So I couldn't help it. I already started. But I don't stitch big projects as fast as everyone else, so I think it's okay. But it's Mary Boie. And here's the cool thing. So my youngest Sophie came over to visit, and I was like, hey, I want to show you something. I had this idea. There's a sampler I'm going to start. What do you think? So I held it up like this, and she was like, Mom, I can't see that. She wears glasses, and she was just like, I can't see it. So I'm about to start my whole, like, I hand it to her, and I'm like, listen, the picture doesn't do justice. And then she goes, oh, I love it. And like, she could see behind the fabric in the photo, and she's like, oh, Mama, I love it. It has bunnies and a puppy and flowers. And so she loves it, right? And I'm like, well, I was going to stitch it with you in mind. Like, I'm going to change the name from Mary Boie to Sophie Annabelle. And what's really fun is Mary Boie has two E's. I have two E's for Amy. She has two E's for Sophie. My mother-in-law has two E's for Emily. So, Mary Bovie's part of the double E club. So I picked out my colors. I showed her the colors. She loved them. She's like, oh my gosh, these are all of my colors and they're your colors. They're perfect. And I started and I could not stop. It was so much fun. I'm telling you, I might end up being a sampler girl. Just need to stitch them pink. So here's Mary Boie so far. It is beautiful. It is just so beautiful. Now I'm doing the alphabet in a couple different colors, but I'm changing the letters. So the first initials of our family's names, Amy, Brett, Hannah, Sophie, and Phil, in a different color. So let me show you my color palette. She really loved it because, you know, her favorite colors were in here. The blues, the aquas, the turquoises. So this is my color palette. The letters are going to be hyacinth and periwinkle. The geometric border, I think, is it a sawtooth border? Is robin's egg. And the flowers, the vine flowers, are bunny nose and crepe myrtle with mistletoe from Sampler Threads. It's just really, this is just beautiful. It's as sweet as can be. So I love the sampler, and I think it's going to look really pretty with a daily reminder hanging together. So this one's a lot of fun, and it's addictive. So there's Mary Boie from Stacy Nash. And can we just say how nice Stacy Nash is? Like, what just a nice person. So I really hope that at some point when I'm able to go to retreats. Like, I really hope that I get to go to a retreat that Cece Nash is the designer. I would love to be able to meet her in person. Oh. Okay, the next is from another designer who I just adore. You've all heard me talk. I'm quite the pinker and pumpkin fangirl. So this is a free chart, so I'm going to show it, but go to her blog. This was posted April 21st, so it's brand new. This is the Rose Mini Sampler, and it is adorable. I've done a couple of her samplers. I've done the sunflower sampler. I don't think I've ever showed that before. I did the St. Patrick's Day sampler, the Easter sampler. So this is her brand new rose sampler, and I'm stitching mine on 14 count pale gray gingham from Fabric Flair. And there's a couple colors. I had to frog a little bit last night because I ended up changing colors. So there's 4 colors. Here they are. And I'm using Really Tealy Caribbean Waters from Classic Colorworks, Bayberry, oh, I'm sorry, there's 5 colors. Bayberry, Bubblegum, and Strawberry Fields from Weeks. And again, I'm changing the first initials to a darker color, which is the Caribbean Waters. So the color I originally used, which is really cool, and I think I'm going to add this to the Mary Bowie palette, was Caribbean by Weeks. This is really beautiful variegated. Here's my problem. I started to stitch the letters with Caribbean and they were looking really good, except for the D was the lightest shade in the variegation, and it made it look like we were using the initial D for someone in our family, so it didn't match up correctly. So that didn't work out really well. But then I was looking at the Mary Bowie colors. I was like, oh, I think I have a space for this in there. So it was a happy accident for another chart, but wasn't meant to be for this one. So this is really sweet. I think it'll stitch up pretty quickly. Just need to finish the border and the roses. I love the little rose buds. And I love how she is so kind and shares all of her talents with everyone on her blog. So thank you so much, Melissa. Okay, then I have a little bit of a problem, and I would love any advice I can get. So this is an old whip. I love the chart. I love the design. I love everything about the way it looks. I'm using all the call for colors. It is Heartstring Sampler, You Sting Like a Bee. I love the saying, everything. I do not like stitching on the fabric. It's Picture This Plus. And I even went and felt my other Picture This Plus. And now Picture This Plus is a little bit softer, and I stitch in hand. This one seems extra soft. And I have to stitch in a hoop, and I hate it. I mean, I shouldn't say hate. I know I was all like, can't hate anything other than the devil and the Yankees, but stitching on this fabric might be up with the Yankees. So I really do not care to stitch in a hoop, and I don't know what to do because I only have, here's where it ends. Part of me thinks it just is like a suck it up buttercup moment. That's all I have left. But I started to stitch it yesterday, and I was like, I don't want to do this. It's like it was like almost like homework. So I starched it, thinking like that would make it stiffer. I don't know what to do. So if anybody has any suggestions, let me know. I will try. I'd love to hear what you have to say about either making this particular fabric stiffer or tips with stitching in a hoop when you're when you stitch in hand. And I do the sewing method. So I'd love to hear it. This is really cool and I'd like to finish it because it's beautiful. And the fabric is really pretty. Just, I don't know. I'm spoiled by, you know. Okay, so that was my bit of conundrum with Sting Like a Bee. All right, so my next whip, I stopped working on this because I was thinking maybe this would be good to take on vacation, because I thought maybe I can just do the rest of the outline and then it will be good fill. But it's Animal Crackers Lily. And here we go. Lily is done on 18 count vintage country mocha. And I've changed the colors a little bit. My green is Guacamole by Weeks. And my pink is Charlotte's Pink with Blue Coat Red as the accent. So not a ton of progress. I got the pink filled in and then the arm. And then I was thinking like, oh, I should just outline this and take it with me when we go to Disney World. But I don't know. I don't know if I can wait that long. So, but she's so cute. She's really, really cute. I'm having a lot of fun with the animal crackers. I was also thinking, okay, it would be really fun to do the Not Forgotten Farms. Some of the little animals, like, did you see Lammy Pie? Oh my gosh, Lammy Pie was so cute. And I was thinking that they would like complement the animal crackers really well. And that was a thought. So I was thinking I might check out some of the little characters from Not Forgotten Farms to add to the animal crackers. More charts in time. Okay, I kitted up 2 things last night, and one has sort of been an ongoing project, and then the other is a strawberry project. So my ongoing is the Blackbird Samplers, or I'm sorry, Blackbird Designs mini stockings, and I am going to do the wreath fragment. I thought about doing the sweet pea because I've done a couple other flowers. I did violets in February and then the daffodils in March. But I don't know, there's something about the fragments. It just sort of, the fragment wreath, it called to me. So I'm going to use 14 count Icelandic beige, and it takes 2 colors, and I picked Peony and Lucky from Weeks. So that's how it's going to look. Oh, I know why I picked it. There's eyelet stitches. I love stitching eyelets. I don't know why. I like eyelets and I like Smyrnas. They're so much fun. So when I saw that there's eyelets in the center of the flowers, I was like, oh, I want to do that. So I'm going to get that started today. And then my other kit, and I forgot to show this last week when I was showing my strawberry charts. What is Brenda Gervais, A Girl in Her Garden? This is a big, this is deceptively big. It is 175 wide by 48. Now 48's not that big, but 175 is pretty wide. So this is the way the whole chart looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do the drum. See if I can get it. That's what I'm going to stitch right there. So I'm going to stitch that strawberry plant, the strawberry plant. I'm going to skip this one and then just do the girl. And then finish it more as a rectangle. And I have, I just looked at the chart and I did not do called for colors. I did more of like inspired colors. So here are my colors, and I need to borrow back Caribbean Waters. Just grab that. So here are my colors for A Girl in Her Garden. And I can read them off real quick. It's going to be Caribbean Waters, Island Breeze, Arrowhead Curry, Hazelnut, Louisiana Hot Sauce from Weeks. And then we have Frog Legs, Snowball, Pea Pod, Hazelnut, Ye Old Gold, Blushing Beauty, Perfect Pie Crust from Classic Colorworks, and then Rhubarb from Gentle Arts. And then I'm going to stitch it all on Witchell 14 count Beautiful Beige. So that's another one I'd like to start today. So those are my two kits. And okay, let's talk lemons. I have some previous lemon finishes that I thought I would share that I would like to FFO this upcoming week and then decorate with. So the first one is, and I remember I stitched this because I did all of the outlines and then I wanted to do the fill-in when we drove from Maryland. We we went to North Carolina, and then we went for North Carolina for lacrosse, like a prospect day and camp. And then we drove to Daytona. We moved our daughter into her dorm for freshman year. And then we went to Jacksonville for lacrosse. And then we drove home overnight to school back to Maryland because the 11th grade started. It was a very busy week, busy week or so. Or no, we went to a couple things in Florida. It doesn't matter. It was a long time ago. But anyway, so this was from 2022, and this was It's So Emma. This was a quarterly chart from their quarterly club. Stitch Quarterly. Thank you. That's the word. So this was the Lemonade Citrus Summer. So that was, and this was stitched on 14 count fabric flare. And I used all the DMCs that it was called for. It came with a really cute needle minder too. So I think I'm going to finish that one on a board, like a flat finish. And then I have Squeeze the Day. And this was done, I think, on 14 count. I think it's called Malted Milk by Lori Holt. And this chart is from Primrose Cottage. And I believe I used the called for DMCs for this. And then I used the same DMCs from the Stitch Quarterly for these three, Stitching with the Housewives. And unfortunately, I don't know the pattern names. I'm so sorry. The first is Hello Summer. This one's probably called Hello Summer. These were stitched on 14 count light gray, Ada. And I used this light gray to match the larger Lemonade from, or Citrus Summer from It's So Emma. And then we have Lemons for Sale with the little truck. It's so cute. Again, with the same DMC palette and light gray Ada. And then we have Fresh Lemonade with the same colors on light gray Ada. Okay, so I don't have any treasure really to show. I did place 2 orders. I have an order from Primrose Cottage for their new stitchy things. I got the frog needle minder, and I got the stitchy quilt design, and I got the Color and Cotton thread pack. So I was very well behaved and just got those couple things. And then my local LNS Thread the Needle Stitchery had a Easter sale, and I picked up a couple charts, and I did store pickup. So I'm gonna either run over today or tomorrow and go pick those up. One of them is a patriotic blackbird, and then one is a market chart from Lucy Beam that says Merry Christmas, and I believe that was stitched on red, which is really cute. And then I got two other things. I got another chart, which I can't remember. And then I got some more Ruby Cottage Garden floss, because it's quickly becoming my new favorite pink. So that'll be fun to grab. It's a little bit of a shorter video because I didn't have any FFOs, but life has been good. Easter was good. Let's see what's been going on. So yesterday would have been my dad's birthday. He would have been 77. And he passed away 12 years ago when my girls were just turned 9 and almost 7. So he was the best grandfather in the entire world. My girls thought he walked on water. So he was a really good dad, terrible husband, but really great grandfather. And you know, my parents, it didn't work out in the end, but they were pretty amazing because they did a really good job keeping our family together. And I'm very thankful for my mom and how she always welcomed my dad, and he was just a part of every holiday celebration and always welcome, and they really did the best they could, and I'm very thankful for that. So they loved being grandparents. Oh my gosh, the best decision my husband and I ever made was to raise our kids near them. So when my dad was alive, we lived about a half an hour from him, and he would randomly come and pick up my girls for school, even though school was 5 minutes away. And he would, bring them breakfast and all. So sort of as a way to celebrate him, every birthday, we get little chocolate donuts and Yoo-hoo. And as tradition. So yesterday, both of my girls, we got little chocolate donuts and Yoo-hoo for my daughter and her husband, and it's nice that he kind of has adapted that tradition as well. And oh my gosh, my dad would have loved him. They would have gotten so much trouble together. My dad was the king of mischief. Like, if you wanted to have fun, he was your guy. And then my oldest texted me from Florida, and she's like, it's Pop's birthday. I'm going to go get chocolate donuts and Yoo-hoo now. So that was very sweet. And she's doing really well. She has her exams this week. She finished 2 so far. She has 3 to go. And yesterday she told me that she did really well on an astrophys. I don't know if that's astrospace physics or physiology or what, but she was very happy, and she ended with the class with a B, and I'm very proud of her. So I will say I miss her so much. I miss her so much. It's been too long. I haven't seen her in a couple months, and like, she's delightful. She's wonderful to be around, and boy, do I miss her. So it's going to be great to see her in a couple of weeks. Sophie's last lacrosse game maybe is today. There's a very specific statistic about whether or not they continue on to playoffs, and I don't know, we'll see. Like, they could win today and still might not make it to playoffs. I think there's like a 3-way tie in the in their conference. So I don't know, we'll see, but it's been a good ride, and I'm just happy that she's healthy and well, and she's happy again, which is great. So a couple more weeks of school and then she'll be done. Yay. Let's see. Oh, I'll try to, I think I know how to insert a picture. I'll try to do that now if I can. Um, I have the Pottery Barn cubbies and I like to seasonally decorate them. So I had them decorated for Easter, but then I definitely, I'll make an Instagram reel, but I did a countdown to Disney World for them for our pigs in Operation Pigs in Space. And it is so cute. Like, I pulled out the box of like childhood Disney World memorabilia and I decorated the whole thing and we did a countdown. So, you know, we can pull the day over, the day down every day. So, that'll be fun. And, so I hope that like she'll come over and pull it over, pull the number down. So, which is really fun. And it was cute because all the kids were like, you know, one thought it was like countdown to coming to see her. One thought it was countdown until we leave. And then one thought it was countdown to birthday. So it was great. So everybody was happy. It was really cute. So that was fun. And then I've become a Star Wars widow. Andor has started up again. And so my husband is very happy. I think I've mentioned how my whole family has been quite enamored by Star Wars these days. So I was messing with my husband last night and I'm like, oh yeah, Andor starts tonight. It'll be great. I'll just watch the whole first season today and then we'll watch it together. And he was like, no, you can't do that. It's too long. It's like, you're not gonna be able to do that. And then I was like, oh, well, I'll just watch the recap. And then when it comes on at 9 tonight, we can watch it together. And if I have questions, we'll just pause it. It was awesome. His face. I wish I took a picture. It's like, no. So he was very happy. He watched all 3. He took a nap yesterday evening so he could stay up and watch all 3 episodes. He was so cute. It was so much fun. So we're gonna do, Soph and I are doing a planning meeting tomorrow for our Disney trip. And then we have a conference call with her sister on Sunday, which will be very fun. The girls have decided to have Frozen night and they're going to Disney bound as Anna and Elsa. And I cannot tell you how excited my heart is. It's just the best thing that has ever happened. Oh, so excited. Let's see. I'm watching a lot of Flosstube, which is really fun. And lots of great inspiration. And then, oh my gosh, I watched the first season, the first 5 episodes. I know I'm so late to this, to the Natalia Grace documentary on HBO. I have no words. Like, it's so disturbing. So disturbing. I also on Netflix, I watched a new documentary about the Oklahoma City bombing. And I did that because when I was in college, in the first years I was married, I was a school-age childcare director. And one of the parents, one of the moms, was one of the FBI detectives, like the investigators. And she actually testified in some of the trials. So it was sad. It was just, you know, watching it as, you know, a full adult, because I think when it happened, I was a teenager and then, you know, college age, and then now watching as someone who's 45, very different perspective, and it was just so sad. So I hope there's some good that came out of that for those families. So after those 2 more like true life things, I went back to Flosstube. And I was very happy. I watched Kimberly Jolly with Fat Quarter Shop's Quilt Tube on Friday, and I just wanted to drop everything and sew and quilt. And so I'm hoping to get some sewing done this week. And I always enjoy watching her. She's always so full of good ideas. And like every quilt, I was like, oh, ooh, I want to make that one. So I like had to stop myself from running over to the website and ordering every quilt kit. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see what I have and maybe start with that. So I guess that's it. That's it. You know, have a great day. Have a great week. I'll get my bee video recorded, and I hope everyone had a happy Easter, happy spring. And I know May is gonna be busy. I know May is probably busier than December for families and moms and grandmothers going to see sporting events and end of the year stuff and choir and things like that. But you know, it's a good season of life. So I guess that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.